All hands, this is your captain. Prepare your grav couches and get ready for the juice, because we're about to flip and burn and head back into the Expanse. This will be a high G manoeuvre. I'm your Captain Andy, and as ever, I'm joined by a favourite well-waller, a screaming firehawk, and owner of some very fine donkey balls, I'm assured, Mr. Elton McManus. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Donkey balls. Donkey balls.
Donkey balls. Donkey balls are going to feature quite heavily this episode.
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, oh, that's what we should have called the show. That's what we should have called it. I think.
Well, I know Screaming Firehawks was one of the suggestions.
Right.
I don't think I'd put donkey balls down, but no one would have guessed it other than us.
No.
And we're here to talk about episode 7 of season 1, Windmills. Your initial thoughts, sir?
Initial thoughts. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked all the Earth stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool, seeing the Holden's mother down there.
One of the commune, yes.
One of the mothers, yes. But it was, I liked all the space stuff, and the special effects are still standing up. I think they look great. And Miller, I'm feeling sorry for Miller.
Yeah.
But
it was very Earth of the series heavy this week, which was good. You know, we can't have everything on the Rossi all the time.
No, I like it that way. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for him, but I'm also excited for him and his trips.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. As is tradition, we'll give a brief synopsis of the episode. For those who haven't watched, in which case this means nothing to you, but nevertheless, Holden and the crew realise they are not alone on the Rocinante and find themselves up against a Martian military blockade. Believing all is lost, Miller finds a new reason to forge ahead, and Avasarala visits Holden's family in Montana. I would have liked to have seen Montana. Obligatory Hunt for October reference there.
There we go.
As is tradition. So where would you like to begin our jaunt across the system this week?
I think we should go Earth, the Rossi. Yeah, I'm calling it the Rossi now. There you go. You got me, you bitches.
One of us.
And then series.
Okay. Now we can make that work. That works for me. So Earth, we're off to, well, for the first time, I think, we're out of New York on Earth, because I think everything else we've seen has been there.
Yeah, walking through the snow.
Yes. If you I know it's been a while since we've seen the opening titles, ironically, given how much I enjoy them. But when you watch the opening titles, one of the things you see is, the polar ice caps retreating and a massive glacier breaking away and like the oceans rising. So it's kind of a shock to see this snowy, vast wasteland that is now Montana, complete with the massive windmills spinning in the background.
Windmills, yes. They are, where did they? They reminded me of the ones in Firefly.
Yeah, very similar to that. That kind of, it's kind of futuristic wind turbines. It's always that kind of helix shape.
Yeah, space saving as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm sure people don't complain about those being on their land.
No.
Or offshore. And we've got everyone's favourite diplomat, Avasarala, off to visit Holden's family. I love Avasarala. She's just amazing.
The way she is cutting through that snow in that stunning red jacket.
With the hood. It's the full Red Riding Hood ensemble.
Oh, it is, isn't it? And knocking at the door and, trying to see the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
But you got this wicked jacket. It's huge, flaying around in the wind. She must be catching a death.
Oh, I don't think the cold would dare touch her. It just straight up wouldn't dare. But we knew that Holden had grown up on a farming collective, and so we kind of get a sense of this. And it looks like the family. We heard when he was being interviewed that it's like a what was the term she used? A family collective, is it? And so there's 4 husbands and 3 wives, including Elise, who we see.
Yeah.
So it's a big family, and that's before you get onto the kids.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I like you got the military as well, trying to tell Avasarala, don't go in there. If you go in there, we can't follow you. And she's like, I don't care.
Yeah, she totally drops the mic, doesn't she? She's like, yeah, okay, I can't hear. Sorry, guys. What? Sorry, windy, really windy in the house. And they're like, no, we can't protect you in this wooden house. And they've probably got like rockets trained on it and heat-seeking missiles ready for it as well. You're like, well, yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be fine.
Yeah. It's a bit strange though seeing such an old-looking house in the world of the Expanse, isn't it? It drives home a sense that there is history on Earth.
Well, yeah, she's talking about the books as well. Oh, you have books.
Oh, I just love that entire sequence where, you know, we're doing a little polite small talk and then you say, shall we just dispense with the bullshit? And then Avasarala just goes, well, I had more about what a lovely home this is, but sure, if you want to.
Well, it's weird because they're both playing the game, aren't they? Mm-hmm. And we saw Avasarala.
You can call her Christian if you want.
Avasarala. Hang on.
Avasarala.
Avasarala.
Yes.
Avasarala. No.
Or Chris.
I'm going to get this.
Or Christian.
Avasarala. There we go.
There you go. You got it.
And we see their little tete-a-tete.
Yes.
But last episode, she didn't even bother with that. There was no trinkets whatsoever. It was just cut down to the chase, wasn't it? And this was them almost like circling each other. Oh,
there was definitely a certain amount of, you know, weighing each other up, trying to gauge the best way forward. But like you say, they're kind of, you know, two combatants circling each other, getting ready to make the first strike, the first lunge with the rapier. But I just love how offhanded it was with, do you want to dispense with the bullshit? And most politicians would be like, no, I wouldn't dream of patronizing you. But she's just like, oh, I had more about what a lovely home this is, but sure, if you want. and then when, you know, we're talking about James and, you know, his mum, Elise, saying how, oh, Holden wouldn't do that. And he goes, wait, I've heard this one before. He was a good boy. He never did anything bad. If only you'd have known him. I thought we'd given up on the bullshit. I just loved how they just cut through all of that and just got straight to it.
It's cutting though, isn't it? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, they were my next 4 lines. Thanks for that.
Well, it's, you know, it kind of takes me back to what we saw the last episode with Dawes giving his little speech. It's just these little character moments delivering these lines. And it just, there's such power and ferocity behind these characters and the way they deliver them. And that's, I mean, I love the effects on the Expanse, absolutely. But if you were to give me these characters, if you were to give me a show that was just the Earth portion of the Expanse, I'd watch it just for performances like that. Mm-hmm. You know, they're just a delight. It reminds me almost of what you used to get in like the West Wing and stuff like that, with those powerful performances from like Martin Sheen and it, you know, when they're just giving such beautiful dialogue that's just a delight to listen to. It's like having a meal of good dialogue, and it's just so good.
Yeah, and well, the dialogue, but the way it's delivered as well.
Oh yeah, they fully embody these characters fully. Like there is no sense that this is you know, an actor playing a character. No, this is Christian Avasarala, you know, and hell hath no fury like me.
She's got this aura about her, hasn't she? She's so domineering about absolutely everything. It was almost as if like the snow was parting in front of her. She wasn't kicking it out of the way. It was going, no, run away, and running away from her feet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if it was a sea before her, it would have parted to let her come through.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great performance. And it's just one of the things I love about this show. And, you know, they got Frances Fisher playing Elise Holden. I know she's been in other stuff, but I was looking on front, I think, what's she been in other than that? So I'm going to do that really annoying thing of man looks up thing on the internet really quickly.
I'm glad you did that because I was doing that as I was watching it. And
she was in Titanic?
Yeah, she was in Titanic. Unforgiven. And she was married. I think she was married to Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got to be made of pretty stern stuff to be able to do that. But they just both hold this scene just so well. And I like as well when, you know, we cut back to it later on and, you know, she's figured out that Holden's alive, that James is alive. And he's trying to kick her out and like going, you don't understand. She goes, I pressured my son to join the military. Avasarala saying this. I forced him to do this because it was what you needed to do to have a life in public service, and he died. And, I'm going to spend the rest of my life waiting for the message, for a call from someone telling me this has all been a mistake. I'll be waiting for that message on my deathbed. And then she kind of softens, and I just like the way Avasarala goes, I don't usually lead with that. But it's just, it's nice that there was a tender moment without actually being tender there, There was no kind of, that kind of stereotypical, we're two mothers, so, we have to bond over this sort of thing. No, there was nothing but steel in that room, but they still made a connection, which was great.
Well, there was a kind of battle in that room, wasn't there? There was the to and fro in between them with the niceties, and then they don't sit down and talk, but she almost kicks Christian out. And it gets to the point where, Christian doesn't want to be kicked out, so she's closing the door. And it's like, no, okay. And then the next scene, you see them sitting down, drinking cocoa and talking about good old times and stuff like that. You're like, this is a whole roller coaster of emotions going on here.
Yep.
It's crazy good.
Oh, yeah. I like we get a lot more background for James as well. We get a sense of him growing up. And I could picture all the things she was saying about how, he was told he had to, to grow up, to take over this land, to farm it. And she didn't want that for him. She wanted him to be able to make his own future, to make his own choices, and encouraged him to leave. But all the while she's describing this, I could picture Stephen Strait as Jim Holden doing this, which was great. And I just love, finding out these little tidbits about the characters and their backgrounds and their history. It makes them feel so much more real. And you can see that these actors have all incorporated that into their performances.
Well, the actor playing Holden's mother, Frances Fisher, there was a look from her face that you could almost see his face in her face as well. Yeah. It was so good. And all the delivery you got. I just love this scene. I thought it was so well done. And then you got that icy cold moment when she walks back outside and she's got like that military helicopter airplane type thing. Yeah. Hovering above, and she gets onto the phone with the other guy just above her. Right. That's it.
He's not above her. He's back in the UN.
Oh, okay, back in the UN.
But yeah, and she's like she's full of herself. She's like, it's fine. We got this. It's all good. He's got mummy issues. He's this and this, but he's not a terrorist. He's fine. And then he's like, okay, yeah. Well, your spies dropped off a map, and Holden's disappeared on a stolen Martian gunship. So we're going to take him out.
Well, that's the thing. She thinks she's got the control of the situation. She's gone to the family home, to discuss things and to weed out what is really going on here, to find out where Holden is standing from. His diplomatic alliances, shall we say.
Yeah.
And she comes out of that house thinking, okay, right, I've got everyone. I've got her by the balls. I've got them in my fingers and I can twiddle them around as much as I want. I have everyone in a position. I have the spy up there. She makes one phone call and all of that drops. It's all gone. It's all chaos again. I have no control. That's all been ripped from my hands. And she had the opportunity. She knew exactly where her son was. She could have turned around and said to Holden's mother, look, okay, I've just got off the phone. He's kind of messed up in things. He's on this ship and it's all going tits up, but I'll do what I can to get him back. But she didn't. She looked at him and there was like a pleasantry, smiles and looks and nods. And then that was it. She could have made contact and communication, but once she walked out that door, that was it. She didn't really care.
Oh no, yeah, she sat down and bonded, but she still had Avasarala at the end of the day. And she's looking at two things: Earth and herself.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what one comes first at the moment.
Oh well, you'll have to wait and see.
It's clearly going to be her, but I think maybe that's what they want me to think.
It may be, yes, but we will say no more on this. But I think that's everything on Earth this week.
Yeah, but it was nice to have a different... It wasn't a building that we were in again. It wasn't glass looking out onto cityscapes. It was different. It was nice.
It actually felt like a breath of fresh air. You know, being out there on this farm with all that snow everywhere. It just felt so different, and it was nice. And yeah, I just like those little vignettes, these little looks around Earth that we don't really see much of so far, because all we've seen is New York, and even then, apart from a few quick skylines, it's just been the inside of a UN building, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You kind of need to spread your wings on this sort of thing, and yeah, it's world building again, isn't it? It's so cool.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So to the Rossi then, I guess.
Yes, up into space to the Rossi.
To the Rocinante, which, as we saw last week, had a bit of a paint job and put on a little weight.
Yeah, big gas canisters to make it look bulky and make it look like it's hauling gas.
Yeah, a gas freighter.
Yeah.
And, you know, to my untrained eye, yeah, that looks like a gas freighter to me.
Well, yeah, you're just shoving these bits on there. It's... What is that called when you kind of get two model kits and splice them together? I forget.
Kit bash.
Kit bashing, that's it. Yeah, it's proper kit bashed, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I mean, it kind of reminds me of the concept of the Q ships, which was something they did in the First and Second World War, where you'd have a civilian ship dressed up as a military vessel dressed up as a civilian ship.
Right.
Sorry. So, you know, if the raiders try and take it, you know, you can go, ha, I have guns, and blow them up.
Gotcha.
But obviously that's not the idea here. The idea is they just want to disguise themselves to get through to, well, not necessarily Eros. They're actually going to the last, message from Lionel Polanski. So they're just trying to head off that way, but they have to get through Martian patrols.
So this
who are
Lionel...
a little bit pissed after last week.
Yeah, one of their ships got, well, winged, as I think you said last week. But this Lionel Polanski, this is I'm guessing a dude that, what's his name wants? Johnson.
Yeah, this is...
He wants to know the whereabouts of this person.
Yeah, this is someone who Fred Johnson put out there onto the Scopuli, and he wants to know what's happened to them. And so he's given them the last coordinates that he knows, the rendezvous they were meant to go to, and sent them off to go and find out. But now there's a lot more Martians between them and the destination, and now they're looking for people. But of course, they shouldn't pay any attention to a boring old little gas hauler unless they were to do something a little suspicious, like transmitting some codes, apparently.
So the spy got on board.
Yeah.
Was the spy allowed to get on there, or was... I'm just trying to work out. Fred Johnson, he didn't know about the spy, did he?
I don't know. I don't know at this point how much he does and doesn't know.
Right.
I don't think he allowed the spy to get on the Rocinante.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I felt it was. I thought he just snuck on board. And
yeah, I think he just snuck on board on his own. But what I don't get is why the spy didn't communicate with Earth before he did that. Because Aaron Wright says to Avasarala that your spy has just gone dark. This was the last we heard. Now, if the spy was boarding with the intent to follow, surely he'd have sent that message, unless he has sent that message, but Aaron Wright's playing his own game or something. So
that's a kind of save point, really, isn't it? You do. I would imagine you would have turned around and said, "Okay, Earth, I'm doing this. I may be off radar for some time. I do not know, but as soon as I'm back on, then I'll let you know." But it seems strange not to do that.
Mm-hmm. So So he's on board there, and he's broadcasting something. And now they don't know what's broadcasting, because they think it might just be the ship doing an IFF handshake with the other Martian skiff, which is, something that, military ships in the future do. So they send Amos down there, and Amos proves once again that he is a scary son of a bitch.
Yeah. He smashes the shit out of him.
Oh, he doesn't even miss a heartbeat. There's no kind of what or anything like that. He just kind of walks up, sees the guy, and it's just like smack, 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 smack. And then, okay, now you have a broken helmet. And that's going to be terrifying to you.
Yeah, you're going to feel that gushing across your face, aren't you? But once again, it's not a case of the visor is smashed. Oh, look, all of his eyeballs and face and tongue are flapping around in the glass now. It doesn't work that way.
No, we've already established last week that you can actually just open up your visor to fix a dodgy wire.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But it's still, if you're not used to being in spacesuits and out in space and used to having your faceplate caved in by a psychopath, that's going to be kind of terrifying for you.
Yeah. So they get hold of this spy. He's the one that was looking at Holden last week in the bar.
Yeah, his name is, what was it? I did make a note. Kenzo.
That's the one. Oh, do you know what? I wish their IMDb pictures would look like the people in the actual shows. Yeah. Sometimes.
Oh, he's played by the guy who does the voice for Adam Jensen in Deus Ex.
Ah, okay. I haven't played that for a long, long time. Since the first... He's in Call of Duty. He's in a lot of video games, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a voice artist primarily.
He's in Fortnite. And Star Trek. Oh, there you go.
Anyway, so Kenzo has snuck aboard and had his faceplate smashed in.
Yeah, and straight away it's, okay, we don't know you, we don't need you either. So until we can work out exactly what's going on, we're going to have to stick you into the airlock. And we might open the front door, we might open the back door.
Euphemism? Sorry.
Not quite, no.
No, not quite, no. But yeah, I like this. You got Holden, who's trying to play the, the ruthless captain, but he's too much of a good guy. Mm-hmm. But Amos has got no bones about it whatsoever, and just takes him down, throws him in the airlock. And I love that little, speech he gives him about the churn. He's saying, "Look, I'm going to be straight up with you. However this plays out, you're going to die, and I'm going to kill you." And it's nothing personal. It's just, it's for churn. We got caught up in it. And the guy's like, "What's the churn?" And he goes, "Well, when, big changes are happening up, all the stuff just gets churned up, and, little guys like us get caught up in it." And so, yeah, it's just the way it is. I don't know what it is about Amos, but he has no empathy.
No, he doesn't, no.
At all. And he kind of... No. I'm trying to remember what kind of characters he reminds me of. But yeah, he's just scary.
One thing I've just thought about and kind of noticed throughout this series so far, and with sci-fi in general, we haven't seen any androids or anything like that, have we?
In the Expanse?
Yeah.
No. They don't have that sort of technology.
No.
There's no AIs like Data or anything like that.
Okay, so we're not going to all of a sudden find out that Amos is
a robot.
Like a robot, and he's like got a skin and his face falls off. He's like, "Oh, I've been a robot all the time" in season 5.
No. Well, you might do. I'm not going on to season 5 yet, but at least as far as I have gotten with Amos, he is, to the best of my knowledge, still human.
Yeah, no, it's nice that that's not there. I would have thought if that was there, then that would have been established already. We're far too far into it. All of a sudden, to go, oh yeah, we kind of got robots and androids and whatever you want, but no, there's no sign of that. So, because you say he's got no empathy, it's just sometimes he's stone cold, isn't he?
Mm.
And comes across that way. He says it how it is, and there's no. doesn't care. You know, that's what he feels like doing at that moment, and so that's what he's going to carry on doing.
Well, we get that moment later on when Holden's pointing a gun at the back of his head.
Yep.
And he says, look, if you don't think I'll kill you to stop you killing them, I will. And he just goes, you got a gun to the back of my head, point blank range? Yeah, you got a good chance of taking me down. There's no boasting. There's no saying, go on, do it, I dare you, or anything like that. He's just like, yeah, probably.
I think in that sort of situation, I know we're skipping on a little bit, but there's basically they're going to get boarded, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we're not just following this show beat by beat. We're talking about the stuff we want to talk about. So we're talking about Amos right now. And Amos, you know, he gets a gun pointed at his head and just doesn't seem to care.
But that situation, he knows what he wants to do. He wants to protect the ship and the people on that ship. Mm-hmm. And for all intents and purposes, it could be he just wants to protect Naomi. And I think that's what we're meant to believe anyway.
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, up until this point, it's been Naomi. I think it's now kind of all of them, even if it's protecting them from themselves. Mm. He's kind of like he's protecting the pack, you know.
He's home.
Again, I don't think it's so much for home as in the others.
Okay.
You know? But, you know, because when you say home, it kind of suggests to me it's where he lives. But I don't think it's that. I think he's protecting the others, so Holden and Alex and Naomi. But I think he's protecting them in his mind from themselves as well. You know, he's doing what they won't.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he's got Holden sussed already. He knows exactly where he is, and even having a gun pointed, he knows he's not going to pull it. I don't think he... Do you think Holden would have pulled that then?
No.
I don't think he would have either. I think they would have gone through the door and he would have wiped them out, or at least taken 4 or 5 people down before being decked himself. And I think Holden would have turned it on that door as well, instead of taking him out.
We will never know.
No, but yeah, that's the way I feel the characters would go.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think Holden has it in him to do that.
No. I think Amos has...
At least, not at this point.
I think Amos is a character of, okay, look, if you're going to take me out, you're going to take me out. I can't do anything about it, but my focus is on that door right there and then.
I think Amos is a bit fatalist. I think Amos is just one of those people who, you know, he kind of understands that he is just existing at a time and a place. Mm-hmm. And after that, whatever, you know, nothing really matters. It's, you know, in the grand scheme of a cosmos, in the stars, he is there but for a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And so, in that grand scheme of things, he doesn't really care. So...
He doesn't make plans for Tuesday, does he?
Basically, no.
Because Tuesday may never come.
Pretty much. So yeah, he's just getting on with it. But I love the characterization of Amos. Just how different he is from a character you typically get in most media. You know, someone like him would be presented as like a super badass with a, you know, some sort of moral code and, you know, other bits. You know, there'd be a lot of stuff attached to him.
Mm-hmm.
But here it's just like, you know, he's cool, calm and collected, but he's completely unhinged and vulnerable at the same time, if that makes sense. You know, he's got a vulnerability to him.
But that can go the other way as well. I think when they were on the bridge and they had the spy in the chair, I think they pulled him out the chair, didn't they?
Are you talking when Holden tells Amos to take him down and that he just like stares at him for a beat before he actually does it?
But there's a bit where he's decking him a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, his instructions are, okay, right, you're the muscle, beat him up. Mm-hmm. And he just does it. He just follows that order.
Oh, that's when he says, you got a good right. You use it too much.
Yeah.
But you got a good right.
Yeah, but it's, maybe that's a step too far over the blank killing robot machine type person that he is.
Mm.
At that point, I thought, okay, you're just using him as the muscle. And okay, that he's fitted into that little pigeonhole. But I want a bit more from him than just, okay, right, Amos, we need someone punched, come over here and punch him. Okay, walks over, punches, doesn't feel a thing, sits down again. I don't want that just to be the character.
No, I get that. And I can promise you that's not just a character. But it's just that whole bit with him and Holden in the airlock. I just really liked how that played out. And I know we're still kind of getting ahead of ourselves and we've got more to go back to, but you know, it was good to see a bit more of Amos this episode, you know, because we've not really got a huge sense of him. You know, it's mostly just been him and Naomi against the others, whereas this was, and I know we got a little bit of Holden and Amos in episode 2 when they were on the night, you know, outside trying to repair the aerial. And he's saying like, oh, you want to be friends now, do you? Well, I just like Amos.
Yeah. Once again, when you said about that moment, that was living for that moment, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to be friends with you. Yeah, we'll see what happens down the line, but at this moment, no, I'm all right.
Yeah, I don't think Amos is someone who's ever had a family. At least that's the impression I get here at this point in the series. It feels like he is a person who has always been on his own and, you know, just doesn't really know how to interact with people. So we'll see. You got Kenzo, though, who's on board, and, you know, he's definitely playing all the angles, isn't he? He's, you know, he's making the claim that, you know, Fred Johnson was onto him, you know, making the thing about how, I don't want the Mickeys to get me because they've got shit on me. And he's resourceful. You can see he was trying to sabotage the airlock to kill Amos when he came back.
Do you reckon that was his plan? I couldn't work out exactly what his angle was on that.
He basically wired the mains into the panel so that when he touched the panel, he'd have gotten a fatal electric shock.
Oh, okay, yes. That's why he popped it off just before he touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't work out if it was just to get the door open or what, but yeah. But then again, I said about not having androids or robots or anything, but he's had a mod done to him, hasn't he?
He's got some sort of magic eyes. But before we get to that, I would just like to point out that once again, it's doing the case for some decent airlock safety should be going on here, because you shouldn't be able to lock someone in an airlock. Okay? I'm just saying, people, future designers of spaceships and all that sort of thing, locking people in an airlock has no good outcomes.
Yeah, we said this last time, didn't we?
Exactly, and I just want to reinforce this at this point. You shouldn't be able to lock someone in an airlock.
No.
Okay? That's a very bad place to be. So, it just seems like safety 101. Just, no, you can't do it, you know, it's, no. You know, if someone tries to lock you in an airlock, it should be a big button on the inside, which is emergency open the inside doors.
Yeah.
But we digress. Yeah, he's got some sort of magic eyes that kind of like, he's definitely got some sort of implant there, which allows him to kind of connect and either download or access schematics somewhere. And he's got some sort of wireless upload facility, which doesn't seem to be working.
I wonder if that's a kind of, maybe it's just like a lens, like a contact lens.
It could be a contact lens, but I feel like it's the entire eye. I would have thought what we see it doing. It looks to me like it's the eyes. I mean, you're right. It could well be, but we saw with the data miner a couple of episodes ago, you know, they do have, you know, certain mods. They've got, you know, they've got those spoofer mods. They've got
they do, yes.
You know, other things to make your life a bit easier for you to operate in the future. So I feel they're probably just some sort of new eyes. Maybe he went to Hannibal Chow from Blade Runner. I just do eyes.
I don't know Blade Runner that well.
He's the guy who does eyes.
Okay. But I was thinking, see, once again, the 80s kid comes along, Inspector Gadget. But that's what I was thinking. Anyway.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I like the way that he has got some data down there as well, and you know, maybe we'll talk about the other bit later on. But yeah, he can pull up schematic, or he can work out what board is what, or which board is which, and pull up schematics about that straight away. And he's like, yeah, man, I wish I could do with that. I was really going to say,
he must have, either they have very standardized boards in the future, or he must have a really large, like, Wikipedia built into him. Well, it wouldn't be Wikipedia, though, because it's offline, so it'd be more like Encarta. He's got, like, Microsoft Encarta, version 2572 or whatever it is, installed somewhere, just so we could find these things.
Bloody Encarta.
I was going to say that there's people listening to this that have no idea what Encarta is.
No, they don't. Shame on you. Go Google it.
Yeah. But yeah, I like how he says, that sometimes, they finally say, okay, fine, let's hear what he's got to say. And they bring up, and he goes, well, sometimes, he goes, you're pretending to be the wrong thing. You're pretending to be you're pretending to be a commercial gas freighter. But what you should be is pretending to be a Black Ops team, pretending to be a freighter.
Yep.
And we're like, oh, we've got to find the secret code words there. And that's when we hear our first utterance of donkey balls.
Yep.
And we hear from Alex how at one time he was being pulled over by some Martians when he was serving in the Martian Navy. And the captain spouted up this long spiel and then ended it with donkey balls. And then they were like, oh, okay, yeah, well, you have a good day. And they just went off. And like, okay, so that's Black Ops. And they got to break into the safe. I like how they've got the secret key, the black key, which no one knows about, in the hidden safe, which no one knows about.
Yeah.
And then they still need to put a 24 code security number in. It's just like, for fuck's sakes, people.
So that key came from Lopez.
Yes.
That was given to Holden. And
well, I don't think it was given to Holden. I think he took it off her body, but yeah.
He took it off of him, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the way that they tried to find this code. They're adamant that it's going to be on board. And Alex is like, yeah, just pull up the secret box, which has, and it just raises up from the ground. It's like, oh, there it is. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then they got to work out how to get in there. And, as you said, like a 24 code or digit code on there. He's like, oh, donkey balls. Like, no, that's not the 24s. But yeah, you get a lot of donkey balls in this, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And all this time you got Alex just trying to stall, just talking bullshit non-stop.
Put on crazy trucker accent as well.
Oh, yeah. He's just, just he's talking about saying anything, while at the same time not getting into the point of actually attacking. And he's just like
doing the proper CB radio chat as well, isn't he? It's Smokey the Bandit-esque.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, it's just waffling.
Hey, Snowman, you got your ears on?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's so cool.
Go through all this. They finally, at the last minute, like literally, the skiff has extended its boarding ramp and they're about to come on board and they find the code. And it's these 3 random words. I can't remember what they all were.
I wrote that. No, did I write them down? No, I took a photo of it and I haven't got the photo on it. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I have that photo on my desktop. Not that one. Here we go.
Hey.
Right. The 3 words are ubiquitous.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. Mendacurus. Mendacaios, I think. And polyglottal.
You know what you could have done? You could have just dropped in that bit from the show there.
Yeah, that's extra editing, man.
You're going to have to edit all of that anyway, so yeah, that's fine. But yeah, he gets the 3 words and then just throws in some donkey balls at the end just for good luck. And all of a sudden they just stop and then they go. And it's just like, oh, that's lucky.
Do you know what I would have loved just to make that scene a little bit better?
What's that?
Some of the guys from the Martian ship come along their little docking plank thing, and where you got Amos and Holden stood prone, ready to go, you can hear them scratching on the other side of that door. Maybe like lean their weapons up against it, and like you can hear them and like knocking. Hello,
yeah,
hello, open up, please, open up now. And then they give the codes, and it's like okay. And then you can hear them walking back and just muttering to themselves.
I feel that might have been a little bit too much, but I did really like how, when it worked, how Amos just turns around and smiles, go, "Hey, that worked then, awesome!"
Yeah.
And it's just like, he like that. He just switches over. He's definitely a psychopath.
Yeah.
Or is it psychopath or sociopath? Sociopath, I'm told.
Sociopath. Okay, fair enough. We'll go with that then. But in that cupboard where they got the
code words
out, there was another one in there as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was more. For some reason, we just went with that one. So
there was a blue one and a red one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to work out what the other one could be for. Oh, I wonder if we're going to have that later on. That's too predictable, though, isn't it?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
That's too predictable if we have that.
Who knows what else is in that cupboard, though? You know, it's got all
shut up, man! There's going to be loads of stuff in that cupboard. Yeah, probably like coffee, more coffee.
Oh yeah, more coffee for Holden. Yeah, and with that, they head off and arrive at the coordinates they were sent off to, but it's not Eros. So have to see what happens next week for Rossi.
There was another moment when the spy was recording Holden.
Yeah,
and he was trying to get him to admit that he was going to kill him later on. But Holden didn't bite on that, did he?
He didn't say anything. He just kind of like walked away.
But he was clearly recording that.
I don't know if he was recording it or if he was just trying to establish... No, it's just showing that he's still trying to make a connection. I don't know. Because when he was recording on Tycho, we saw he kind of recorded.
Right. Was there like a red light flashing in the corner?
I don't know if he's able to take video so much as stills with his eyes. I don't know. He might be able to.
Okay. I just got the feeling that he was either recording it or just saving it somehow, but he was trying to get him to say, yes, okay, well, you're going to kill me later. You're not that sort of person. And he's trying to get the words out of him. But
I definitely think he was trying to do that, yeah. I think there was definitely a case of him trying to coerce something out of him.
Yeah. There's some sort of angle there as well.
Definitely. But I don't think he is as helpless as he is perhaps letting them think he is.
Oh, no. I kind of want to keep this guy around as well.
No.
I thought it would be too obvious and too easy to bump into the nephew in space, just floating around in space.
Oh, Diego. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought, last week, okay, well, maybe we bump into him, we get another person of the team. But with the hidden spy, that kind of works as well. And I didn't see that one coming. Once again, I didn't see anything coming last time.
Well, we will have to see. This is episode 6.
This is 7.
This is 7, so there's only 3 more episodes after this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely part of the team. Definitely. He's got like a wicked eye. They've got to use that. At some point, he's going to go, hang on a minute. I can see further than you guys. How do you do that? Hang on.
Do you think they shout out and go, Kenzo, what do your elven eyes see? They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
They just hear this whirring. Hang on, he's zooming in on something, isn't he? Yeah,
Enhance.
He's zooming in.
Enhance.
Naomi's at the other end of the ship, and all she can hear is like, hang on, stop zooming in on me. Stop it. Stop doing that. That's not on.
Well,
anyway, I digress.
I was going to say, going from, Rick Deckard, one film noir detective, to another, let's go to series and go and check in with Miller. Hey, how's that for a segue, eh? It was a bit tortured, I know, but I got there in the end.
Good man.
Our newly unemployed Detective Miller, who is a bit down on his luck. He is not a happy bunny.
No, you can tell from the camera angles that this is all a bit weird and he's a bit out of it as well. Maybe a bit shell-shocked.
I think so. he's trying to send a message to Julie Mao's dad, Jules Pierre, saying, they send me these cases when they don't want them solved.
Yeah. I'm impressed he had service on the train.
Oh, it's the future. Surely by the future you can get cell signals working on the underground. To be fair, every other subway system I've used, you can do that except the London ones.
It's just London, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
God, we're so rubbish.
We are so rubbish. But let's not dwell on how rubbish we are. Miller, he's trying to send a message, but he just can't figure out how to do it because I think he's got unfinished business. So he goes off to find Anderson Dawes.
Yeah, he kind of bowls in and he's picking a fight, isn't he?
You got the preacher there again.
Yeah. I like him. I like that he keeps popping up every now and again. He's just like flicking you like a little salute every time you see him. You're like, oh yeah, you're just there to stir shit up, aren't you?
Oh yeah. And I just love Anderson Dawes. He's such a good character. He's like what we get with Avasarala. They're just these fantastic characters. And I know the accent is hokey as all fuck, but I love it. Yeah. And I like how, he goes on to Miller, saying about, Miller's going on about how, I was thinking about you when they threw me into an airlock. And he goes, he doesn't even miss a beat. He goes, I'm honoured. Because, when a man is about to die, when he's truly about to die, he knows what's truly important for the first time. And you were thinking of me. And he's got a speech ready for every situation. He's just always ready. His old Dawes. And I like he goes, he's my guest. His drinks are on me.
He's a perfect politician, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He is. He's just so good to watch.
Yeah. I don't know if I've said this before, but he's kind of reminding me of, it was the guy that used to play Apollo in Battlestar. I think I said this in a couple of episodes ago. Yeah.
Yeah. When he was playing Tom Zarek in in the New Galactica.
Yeah.
A little bit, but Zarek always came across as a little dodgy. Whereas there are moments with Dawes where you legitimately think, actually, maybe he's right.
That's the scary one to worry about.
Oh yeah, that's when it's really scary.
Yeah. Oh, you nearly talked me into it. to killing all these people.
You nearly had me. Yeah. I just love that whole sequence, which is great.
He's proper getting in his face as well, isn't he?
Well, it's because he's in his head.
Yeah.
Dawes is in his head. And the thing is, he thinks Dawes is the one who got him fired from Star Helix. And so, he's kind of going down there. And, he's just talking about how he's lost everything. And then he goes, well, you haven't lost everything yet. So Dawes goes, well, when you do, then you'll know your way home and we will welcome you.
Yeah, because he's seeing him more as a, not as an earther anymore, as a belter.
Yeah, he sees Miller as a potential asset more than anything. So that's great. I like how when he goes back to Julie Mao's apartment, he has to break in because obviously he doesn't have his magic key card anymore.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hang on a second. I thought he did that on the phone thing.
Well, yeah, but the phone had
all the files, didn't it?
Well, it had all his clearances and everything, didn't it? And those have all been revoked.
That's right.
So, has to do it the old-fashioned way to get to that shower.
Yeah, straight in, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you had like the picture of like the empty wheel in which the I forget, it wasn't the guinea pig, was it? The hamster, yeah. Would sit in and, that's all gone because we've already been there and we've ripped his guts out.
Yeah, he's already been through that place. It's an act of desperation. He doesn't really know where else to go to try and pick it up. But then...
Yeah, I think in his state of mind, he wants to carry on with this case, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's kind of looking for purpose in his life. His job has been stripped from him. The person that he was in cahoots with but not really trusting is he thinks he's sold him down the road. And he's been squeezed from both sides. And where does he go from there? I know, I'll go back to where it all started to fall out of place and try and find a thread to go from there and maybe disappear on a different adventure.
I don't know if he was doing that, because I think he still wants to find her.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah.
I think he went there just to see if there was something he'd missed. There was some other way to pick up the thread. Some other way to give him a clue. Maybe she had another copy, or maybe, he doesn't know, but he's looking for a direction. And then he gets one, because he gets a phone call from the friend he sent a message to it was a couple of episodes ago now, I think it was.
That's right, yeah.
Sematimba is the guy's name, who was on Eros.
Yep.
And he says, Anubis never showed up on Eros, but one of its shuttles is there, Anubis 1A, and it's still docked on Eros. So now he's got a direction, he's got somewhere to go, somewhere to pick up that thread.
Yeah.
And I like how he just goes, well, I'm cashing out, literally. So he goes to his room and he's just picking up all the poker tokens or whatever it is.
I read online they were bribes.
So all the bribes he's ever taken.
Yeah. But he'd never really used and spent. He just hoarded them. I suppose he took the bribe as a course of being a police officer, and then just, well, okay, they gave me that, I'll just stick it there. I'm not going to use it.
Well, I guess what was he going to use it for? I'm guessing his, apartment and food and all that weren't all that, didn't cost all that much.
Mm. What about the bird that was flying in the window?
I think that was just some symbolism. I don't think it meant anything beyond, about being free, I suppose, about flying the nest, getting away, because he's never left Ceres before.
Yeah.
So I think it was a connection of, seeing the bird flying there and getting the message, and he made the decision, well, look, there's nothing more for me here. It's time for me to go.
That makes sense, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah, he's getting all these mixed messages just to say, yeah, okay. I think that's why he went back to Julie's apartment, just to find out something to send him on his way. He was desperate. He was desperate for something.
Well, he's lost his purpose, and I suppose he was looking for some direction. He was looking for something which told him what way to go. You need a compass. Well, he's got his compass, his moral compass. He just needs to know which direction to go in, and that's what gave him there. So he's off to Eros, and he's cashing out. And I like how he takes his sock full of bribes down to cash out, and he kind of just tosses his phone over at the same time. He's kept Julie's bracelet. And then Octavia shows up, and it's like, I was expecting to find you in your room with your brains blown out. Which is a bit harsh, but...
Well, I think he was getting close to that, though, wasn't he?
I think if he hadn't found anything in Julie's room, probably.
Yeah. But before Octavia turns up, he does leave... Is that when he leaves his hat behind?
Oh, yeah, he leaves the hat just before that. He kind of just hangs it on the... hangs it up on the wall as he's leaving. And I think that was the moment he actually left Ceres.
That is, yeah. That has been his little trademark symbol why he's been knocking around, hasn't he? Because it was brought up in the first episode.
Yeah, why do you wear that ridiculous hat?
Yeah.
To keep the rain off my head.
Yeah. But he's hung that up, and it's kind of like a changed person, isn't it? It's like getting a whole new wardrobe of clothes.
It's definitely symbolic of his transformation, and he's no longer Detective Miller. Now he's just Miller.
Miller Lite. There you go. No, that's a terrible joke. Don't cut that out. It's me editing.
Yeah, you editing.
Shit.
It's a bad joke, and you should feel bad for it.
Oh dear.
But yeah, he bumps into Octavia. And if you remember back when we first, but there's some history there between them.
They got close, didn't they?
They got close, you know. We definitely get the impression that they had a relationship in the past. But, you know, they gotten close and, you know, kind of worked together. And, you know, I like how at the very end she's like, well, look, if this is as big as you think it is, let me come with you. Let me come and help. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm better doing this one on my own. She points out, well, you were on your own in that airlock.
Look how that nearly ended.
Yeah.
See, safety buttons, people. Safety buttons.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, you know, I think at the same time he's looking out for her. You know, he knows this is a bit of a fool's errand. And he doesn't want to have to worry about her so much. So he's off. He's out of there. He's on what is effectively a commuter train to Eros.
Yeah, but it looked good though, didn't it?
Oh, that thing was cool. I love, you know, it's this beaten old kind of commuter ferry. And I love the tugs which pull it out as well. They've got engines on either side with like just grappling arms, and they just pull it out and they just fly off. And then you got the captain comes on and goes, we'll be going at an easy 1/3 G, so feel free to get up and walk around the cabin.
Yeah. But the way it's rattling around, you got the people, the seats are like a tube train.
Yeah.
He started on a tube train and he ended up on a tube train in this episode, didn't he?
Pretty much, yeah. It's bookended.
Yeah, it's rattling around, and I don't think, I know you can't say anything. I think Octavia, we definitely haven't seen the last of her. I hope not, anyway, because I really like her. Mm-hmm. And I think them two going around solving crimes would be wicked. I don't know if I want to see a whole show on that, but they work really well together.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she's on that freighter that he's on at the moment.
Uh-huh.
But once again, that might be an easy step. But then again, she's seen the state of him. She's seen it in his eyes that he wants to find this Julie. He wants to solve this thing. I don't know if she'll turn up that quick though, but I like her.
Nah, she's a great character. And let's not forget Havelock. We've not seen of him in a while either. Yeah,
last time we saw him, he was in the bed learning different languages.
Yeah, after having a spike shot for his Yaxi.
Creole. Is it Creole?
Belter Creole, yes.
Nearly got it right.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, there you go. That's Windmills, pretty much.
You enjoy it?
Oh, it's a great episode. It's an episode that's kind of in between stuff. You know, it's a lot of travelling. We're going between places here. You know, it's an episode of transitions. You know, we're transitioning, you know, with Rossi from Tycho to Eros, with Miller from Ceres to Eros, and with Avasarala from, you know, the belief that Holden is the terrorist to the belief he's not. So a lot of this was kind of setting up. We're getting close to the end game of season 1. So yeah. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, but you know, we've got 3 episodes still to come.
Yeah.
One of those episodes is going to be quite heavy flashbacky.
Okay.
So you've really only got 2 episodes to bring all of this together. It's exciting.
Yeah. But they're both going to Eros as well. Now, will that happen? Wondering if that happens straight away. That is a potential cliffhanger. But you can't have them travelling for like 2 more episodes, though, can you?
No, you can't. Shall I be a real bastard, though, as well?
Yeah, go on. Why not?
You're a big fan of time travel and things like that in films. I'm not saying there is any time travel, but...
Oh, you nearly had me.
But
Ooh.
I'm not necessarily saying everything's happening at the same time.
Oh, shut up.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. I am.
Oh. Hang on a second. So, no, you're not actually saying that, though, are you?
No, I'm not.
Are you actually saying that?
I'm messing with you because it's fun to do.
Yeah, you almost blew my mind just then. I was, whoa, hang on. One of them's in front of... No. Oh, I always miss these sort of cues.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm honestly messing with you, so just...
I like that idea, though, that I've just been tricked all this time. You just sat going, you haven't got a clue.
So, yeah, that was Windmills. So the next episode is called Salvage. And,
okay. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Salvage. Okay. Are we going to be going through... What are we going to be going through? There's no scopuli anymore, is there?
No, scopuli went kablooey.
Eros. What's happened? What do we know about Eros that's happened on Eros?
Well,
where was the...
I was going to tell you that Eros is it is an actual asteroid in the solar system. I think it is... There you go. It is out past... Where's your bloody thing? It has a very, very wide orbit. It kind of does on occasion bring it nearish to Earth, but not all that often.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it is a real place in the solar system.
Yeah.
And, you know, so think along the lines of Ceres, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we also know that, you know, just from what Octavia said, it's a bit of a shithole. It's a dumping ground. You know, it's a belter place.
Yeah. The way I'm imagining this universe is if you're not a proper planet, then you're kind of not going to be up there. Anything less than a planet is going to be like treated like a third world.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, use up the resources until there aren't any, and then fuck anyone who's still there.
Yeah, and then everyone moves on. It's almost like a mining city. That's what it is, isn't it? But
yeah.
it's like the gold rushes, where people would set up a town while there's gold in the water, and then all of a sudden, once that's all dried up, then just leave the town, go.
Yeah.
That's how I'm seeing it, anyway.
No, that's. I think that's quite an apt way to look at it. But again, I can't say too much. But
no, that's cool.
But yes, we're off to Eros. Don't know if we get there or not next week, but I know we're heading there.
No, that's cool. I don't mind a little travel. If we get an episode of traveling, then that's fine by me. It's just showing me distance. It takes time to get places, which is cool. Which is where kind of Game of Thrones went wrong, when all of a sudden people were jumping around the whole map. You're like, hang on, it took you 3 episodes to get down there, and now all of a sudden it's like, bing. So as long as that is kept true all the way through all the series, then I've got no problem with that.
Yes.
Cool.
No, they're generally quite consistent with that sort of stuff.
Okay, cool. Right, well, I think we should wrap that one up here then.
I think so too, yeah. Would you like to plug your wares, sir?
Yeah, why not? You can catch me almost every week on the Black Dog Podcast, which is at blackdogpodcast.com. It's a film review show, and we've had to postpone for a week or so. So our next show, as it stands, is going to be Atlantic Rim, which I've never seen. I still haven't seen yet. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Atlantic Rim.
Speaking of someone who loved Pacific Rim, didn't you? It was your favourite film of 2013, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, certainly was. Hey, go big robots and go big kaijus.
Yes.
And whatnot. But the film after that, I think, is Overlord. Is it Overlord?
I have no idea.
The new one with someone in it. I forget. Anyway, so yeah, catch all that over at blackdogpodcast.com. You can also catch me on the Shonky Lab and the Grand Prix Podcast and all the other stuff over at road2media.com.
And you can catch me over at road2media.com as well, where most of my stuff is, with Elton. We'll be getting back to the Grand Prix Podcast very, very soon. The time is almost upon us. For once again, things going around very fast in circles with flappy paddles and spoilers. And you can also hear me on the Great Derelict, which is greatderelict.libsyn.com, and also on Rogue 2, where I talk to people about things to do with science fiction. We just did an episode recently about the Daleks, and I've got an episode coming up about tie-in media and like beta canon and legends and things like that, if that's your bag. So that should be interesting. And yeah, also, if you've enjoyed this, go and get a friend to go and watch The Expanse and to give us a listen as well. I know a lot of people have just started picking it up because it's now on Amazon in the UK and worldwide. So if you haven't, well, obviously, if you're listening to this, you've watched The Expanse. But if you know someone who hasn't, why don't you get them in? And you can say, hey, you can watch The Expanse and then you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll pop along to Amazon and download it and listen to it and watch it and then listen to us as you go along. I have a question, Andy, before we go.
Okay, Elton, what would you like to know?
Well, Facebook and stuff like that. We have one for like the Grand Prix Podcast and Shonky Lab, and you have one for the Great Derelict, and there's one for the Black Dog. Now I'm thinking, do we do one for this? I know you're not a fan of Facebook.
It's not I'm not a fan of it. It's just it is a massive time sink.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, as we have a production meeting live on the end of the podcast, I'm happy to just kind of co-op the Derelict one a bit, at least for a while. And, if you get to a point where more people are talking about The Expanse or more than anything else, then you can always spin something else off.
Okay, then. Should we hijack your one then?
Yeah, go on. You can do that. I post a podcast there anyway, so I've even got a tag there for when I post one so people can see it.
Oh, well, if you've got a tag, then let's head over there. Let's make ourselves comfy on your sofa over there, if you don't mind. Well,
it's a massive, it used to be a space dock facility now, which is just, hanging derelict, hence the name. So there's plenty of space. So the Rossi can dock in there. It'd be awesome. We'll hang out. It'd be cool. Brew up some coffee,
We can talk about spaceships over there as well.
Absolutely. Anything and everything to do with science fiction is the remit. And this very definitely comes under that.
Okay.
So yeah, pop on over there and have a look and have a chat in the post. And then, if we get more and more people talking about it, then we can spin off another one if we want to.
Yeah, no, I'm quite happy just putting it on there. That's awesome.
There you go. I'll give you the login codes and the keys later.
Lovely.
Just come in a Docket Bay 12, you'll be fine.
Yeah, donkey balls, isn't it? Donkey balls, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Shh, don't tell everyone.
All I would say is be kind with spoilers, because you guys know, listening now, I haven't seen anything beyond what I am speaking about right now. I haven't seen the next episode. So if you want to discuss, then just maybe drop a spoiler. This is about the Expanse, blah, 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 blah. And then hit return a couple of times and then talk about it. Just so I don't get spoiled, because I'm quite happy doing it week by week. So that's my little prayer to everyone, if you don't mind.
I'm sure we can make it so you won't have to see those sort of things. So yes, we'll figure something out for you. So yeah, so there you go. You can pop along to the Great Derelict's Facebook page, which is, I just googled Great Derelict, you can't miss it, and come talk about that on Facebook with us there.
Excellent.
And so yes, next week we'll be back, like I said, with Salvage, episode 7 of season 1. And then,
Episode 8.
Is it 8? Episode 8. So episode 8 of season 1. So, very close to the end game. Very exciting. Looking forward to it. But yeah, so thank you once again, Elton. And until next week, I'll just close out by saying, donkey balls.